We don't hear from John, don't we? Yeah.
John, could you explain where the cameras are, please? Could you explain where the cameras are and who switches them on?
Those halves of the...
Those two. Where do they point?
One behind you there, up in the sky, up in the ceiling.
Yeah, where do those two point, please?
They point down there, down there.
Do they point at me?
You're on it, yeah.
Those two.
Yeah.
And this one points at you. Who switches it on? Who switches it off? Do you switch it off before you go home? Not at the end of the meeting. At the end of the meeting.
Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the meeting of the parish charity. I apologise if that sounds a bit funny. I've got a bit difficult with the tooth. It's been operated on, and the new one I've got to put in. The ruling is that the charity, there is no public filming, because it's not been passed yet.
Okay.
But the charity decided previously not to have it, but these are on anyway.
I don't think that's correct, John.
Well, no, that's correct.
Is it a public meeting, this?
It's a meeting of the charity.
It's a public meet. Is it public?
It's not the meeting of the parish council.
Is it a public meeting?
No, it's not a public meeting. It's a meeting of
Why are the public here then?
We're inviting you to come. That's why.
So it's a public meeting which I am allowed to
You're
film.
allowed to come, but you're not allowed to film.
Right, I'm standing up because I think what you're saying is wrong. Right? The first thing is, everybody sat around this table at this meeting is here in their capacity as a council, irrespective of whether it's a charity meeting or not. If councillors are meeting in a public meeting, it's a public meeting. The other thing is, you cannot film with these 3 cameras and then tell the public they cannot film. Because what it's doing in effect is, the parish council is filming a public meeting and disbarring the public from doing it. So I'm saying what you're saying is technically wrong, and I advise that we allow the public to carry on filming, like we did, if I remember correctly, the last charity meeting we had, it was filmed by members of the public, and nobody stopped it.
All I'm pointing out is that this is a meeting of the charity, which does not come under the local government legislation. It doesn't come under the openness regulations as passed by Parliament. This charity has decided 2 meetings ago or so that they would allow themselves to film themselves, which we are doing, but they weren't going to allow the public to film. So that was a decision of this charity. All I'm doing is stating the facts.
Chair, can I just state quite clearly, I think it's morally wrong that the council, because we are part of the council, that the council is allowed to film the public, but the public are not allowed to film. Therefore, I now request you, Chairman, to make a ruling that either these cameras get switched off or the meeting stops.
Well, the meeting have actually agreed that we can film ourselves. Now, if this meeting decides that they don't want to film ourselves, we won't do so. It's up to this meeting. But it's already been passed that we will, but the public won't, because we are here. I know we're here because we're councillors, but we're here principally because we are members of the charity. We are trustees.
No, we're not trustees.
All right, the
This
parish
is-
council is a trustee,
Right.
and we're all here.
We're here as
So I
parish
won't
council.
argue about it.
No,
You
this is
can't
no
film.
wrong. We're here as councillors, and therefore it's a public meeting.
It's not a public meeting, it's a
I'm
meeting
afraid
to
it
which
is.
the public is
I'm quite
invited.
happy to turn mine off.
I'm not.
Well, you will.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but I think John is
I'm
wrong.
quite happy to turn this off until I'm allowed to film, so I'm happy.
We've had you've heard what the clerk says, and he's our legal advisor in this situation. He's
What qualifications in the legal sense does the clerk have, please, to make rulings on a law?
Because this lot are just wasting time.
Excuse me,
Right, we're going to continue the meeting then, please. We're going to receive apologies for absence,
Can I film if you wish?
and you will not film.
No, I'm going
Mrs.
to
Sadler,
respect the wishes
if you want
of
to
the council
continue,
people.
I sort of ask you to switch down. If not, you'll have to leave the meeting.
you'll have to make me leave the meeting then, John, because I believe you are
I'd
wrong.
like Mrs. Sadler.
Chair, there's absolutely no reason for the public not to film. They film parish council meetings, it's absolutely ridiculous.
If you give me a good reason, John, why not to film, I will switch it. That is not a good reason.
In our regulations.
That is not a good reason.
According to
Have you something to hide?
No, I
Well, I will film it then.
told you about my tooth.
Is there something private?
Chair, please make progress. The clerk has said absolutely clearly that this does not come under the terms of a public meeting which can be filmed. It is being filmed by the council. Could we please make progress?
Again, if it's been filmed by the council, it's a public meeting.
I have rung legal services at Rotherham Council and I have been assured that I may film all these parish council meetings and
Correct.
finance.
Not.
No, I was not told.
Not the parish council meeting.
I was not told that, John.
But you didn't ask the right question. It's not the parish council meeting.
How do you know what questions I asked? No, I haven't.
Anyway, we're going to continue. Would you switch that? If you're not going to
No.
switch off, Mrs. Sadler, you'll have to leave, I'm afraid. I'll ask somebody to propose that she leaves. Anybody propose that she leaves?
Before somebody proposes, again, I'll stand and argue this point. We are here as councillors, and I want to make this quite clear, bear down with your film. We're here as councillors, and therefore, as councillors, we can only meet in a public meeting unless we exclude the press and public under the correct act.
That must be your reading of it, Stuart.
No, just let me finish before you start making a decision.
Were you wasting time?
No, I'm not wasting time. We're trying to sort out the point
Yeah.
here. Now, if these cameras are filming, why are you excluding the public from filming? It doesn't make any difference if you've got a picture or they've got a picture. As the councillor just said here, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe, but that's how it is.
Right.
I'll class it something. We can't enforce it. We have police coming. So we will let them film while we all go on now. It's as simple as that.
Chair, could I suggest sorry, Dominic, but the councillor standing up, I can stand up and say black is white, white is black. That makes no difference. That's my opinion. The advice we have got from our officer is that it doesn't come under the terms of the Public Meetings Act, therefore it cannot be filmed.
It conflicts with my
It's not
advice.
a discussion with the public. We abide by rules and
No,
regulations.
you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't abide by rules and regulations.
Dominic.
I concur with what the clerk said, and the clerk is absolutely right. This doesn't fall under the Local Government Act or the Admissions to Public Bodies Acts. It falls under that of the Charity Commission, and if we did make a decision, the charity, that we don't want these meetings filmed, then we'll have to stand by that decision until such a time as we can amend it. I'll reserve judgment on that. I think we do need to relook at that because we are here as trustees, we're not here as parish councillors, by the way. We had training on this.
No, we're not. We're
No.
here as councillors.
Can I finish?
I'm sure.
Can I finish? We had training on this about 2 or 3 years ago. Although the parish council is the sole trustee of the charity, and as such, as parish councils, we are the sole trustees of the charity. We are still here as trustees.
Having said that, I do think we need to relook at this because, as we know, and probably the great proportion of the Anston residents probably don't know this, but the charity is almost entirely funded by the parish council, and in the name of openness and transparency, I think we need to relook at that. In terms of tonight, I don't know a way forward because we have, as a charity, agreed that we will not film these meetings or allow the public to do so. But I do think we need to relook at it.
Right, I'm going to stand on another point of order,
Yeah.
Chair.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to ask the clerk this question, so go through the chair to the clerk. Can the clerk clarify whether the councillors are sat around this table in a charity meeting as councillors or as individual trustees?
They're not here as individual trustees,
Thank
the
you.
parish council is the sole trustee.
Correct. So the statements that are being made around this table, that we're sat here as trustees, are totally incorrect. And the councillors know that because we've had this argument before. What they're trying to do is they're trying to stop the public from filming. Why? What they're scared of.
We're not.
There's no reason why they can't film.
If you want to.
We're filming here,
Stuart,
so why can't they film?
Stuart, if you want to change our standing orders, you're quite at liberty to put forward a motion which will be discussed at the next meeting. I don't care. We're going to make one iota. All I have to do is to chair the meeting according to the current rules.
So it doesn't have to change, because they're stopping people.
According to the current rules, it's not allowed. If you want to change it, put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and by all means, I'll vote for it to be filmed. But at the moment, it's against the rules. My job is to keep the rules. Right, Joe.
Sorry. Thanks. I just wondered whether it was possible for this evening, if we want to move forward, is to suspend that rule that says this meeting cannot be recorded and just allow, for instance, there are two people there with videos, let them both film whatever it is that they want to film. I mean, my only concern about filming, I don't care who films what. What I actually want to make sure is that there isn't any cherry picking goes on.
Is that will make a observation against
Is that a proposal?
That's a proposal.
I'll second it.
Can I just, excuse me, I agree with Councillor Burton. I think that perhaps we should have an outbreak of common sense for tonight, see if we can just get around that on the log channel, otherwise we're going to be sat here, well, we're not going to be sat here, we're going to be going out because we're a bit of an impasse. So I think just for tonight, surely we can work around it and let's revisit the thing and get it sorted out. Because obviously there are that many definitions going around. I'd like everybody to be fully aware, and I think just for tonight, surely we can work around it.
We've got a proposal from Joe that we suspend standing orders at this stage, which says there is no filming. I'm going to second it for that.
Can I just say, it matters what you think of John as well, so...
Yeah, well, I think we should stick to the rules, but if they want to change the rules, they're quite at liberty to put it on hold. They can do that. We suspend standing orders to make a meeting go on further than 9:30, so we can suspend standing orders to do anything else. Now, I've got a second for that. I've got a second. Gordon seconded that. Now, I'm going to take a vote on that. All those in favour of
Could I just
suspending?
speak on that, please?
Yeah.
What we've got here...
Give us the mic.
Sorry, what we have here is a member of the public deciding off her own back, presumably, that she is going to film. Secondly, that she's going to ignore the request from the chair that it is not allowed. Thirdly, the clerk has given quite clear instructions that the advice is that it is not allowed. And yet we're going to suspend. As far as I'm concerned, we work by rules and regulations. I know that there are councillors that try to bend them.
Don't start doing these public sessions.
Mr. Chair, as usual, one councillor only feels it's right to interrupt. He's already had a great deal of our time tonight. It sounds reasonable that we suspend standing orders so we get the meeting done. As far as I'm concerned, the rules are the rules. The advice of the clerk are unequivocal. Obviously there will be a vote, but I will vote against it. If it ultimately means that this meeting is finished and we go home, that is a waste of everybody's time. That is not why we're here, and it could easily be resolved by people behaving in a more sensible and agreeable fashion to each other.
Can I come in? Because I've not spoken on this. Right, the first thing I'd like to correct is it's not just one individual member of the public.
Can you leave the mics on?
Is it not left on?
It's not just one individual member of the public, that's what I meant is, because that member of the public has the support of some of the councillors sat around this table, and I've no doubt that will show in the vote in 1 second.
So we're having a vote.
When we have councillors pointing the finger at other councillors about the way the rules and regulations go on here, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Right, we're going to take a vote. All those in favour of suspending the standing order for not having any filming in this meeting, please show.
Tonight, just tonight.
Just tonight. It's got to be changed on the rules for another future. So,
And can I have a recorded vote, please, Chair?
The motion is to allow public filming today. Councillor Baker,
Four.
Councillor Beck,
Four.
Councillor Bridges, Councillor Burton, Councillor Dalton,
I'm going to say 4, but it's only because we need to progress the financial side of things
Councillor Highland,
tonight.
I'm against.
Councillor Jarvis,
Or
Councillor Jepson,
Four.
Councillor O'Brien, Councillor St John,
Against.
Councillor Thornton,
for,
Councillor Warble,
Against.
Right, that motion is carried. Mrs Sadler, if you've already switched it off, which I don't think you have, you can switch it on again.
Thank you.
Right, to receive apologies for absence.
In the book, Chair.
2. Please accept.
Councillors Crowell and Brindley.
Crowell and Brindley. All those in favour, please show. To declare any interest in any matters to be considered. Anybody? No. 2. To identify items for which the present public may be excluded, there's none at this stage. To confirm minutes of the meeting held on Wednesday, 8th of October. Page 1. You didn't put me down as apologies. I should have been on this one. Okay, David. Right, Stuart.
page 2, if you go on to page 2.
All right, for page 1 then. Page 2. So,
Page 2, 04514, item B, other issues. It just says, Councillor Dalton's attendance at charity meeting. Councillor Dalton confirmed that her statement to the press related to the main monthly council meeting and that she would not be attending that forum for the time being. Can we have a clarification that that statement is true? Because if I remember correctly, at the last 3 council meetings, I think Councillor Dalton has attended at least one of them. So is that a true statement? And if not, she ought to.
well, at the time that this was given, this was a true statement, but it's changed now since then. We're only reporting on the truth of what happened at the time.
I think we're confirming the wrong chair.
Yeah.
Can we go to the chair and ask Councillor Dalton if she confirms that that statement is true? Just to clarify.
That statement was true at that particular moment in time, Chair.
So you will be attending council meetings in future?
We make progress, please, Chair.
Excuse me, don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
I think there's an item further on where we might discuss that, Chair.
Right.
Right.
You won't confirm that it's a true statement?
Anything else on that? Can I have someone propose that we accept it? All those in favour, please show. Right. Number 5, to approve payments. Yeah. Nine items. Any questions? Got them all before you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Right, 200589, the BFKKO security. Can you tell me what period that was for?
I've no idea.
I think it's the one I've just given back to you, Michael.
Yeah, a week for September, 7th of the 9th, 14th of the 9th, the 21st of the 9th and the 28th of the 9th.
Sorry, you said 7th, 14th?
7th, the whole of September, 7th, 14th, 21st and 28th.
Right. And can you give a breakdown of how many visits were made during that period? $15 for each week. 15 visits each week?
So 60 altogether.
Okay, that's all.
Any other questions? Go on.
200593, the maths appears to be wrong.
Pardon?
The maths appears to be wrong. Two lots of 100.
No, I don't.
It says 2 times 100.
It's 2 times.
No,
Two sweets.
Right,
I'm all three on the line.
Right, yeah, okay. Thank you.
A lot of, okay. Can I somebody propose that we accept those payments? Julie? Fine. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. To request a grant from Anston Parish Council. The grant request is £4,000 plus £4,000 to cover staffing costs for November 2014. That's what I propose those, please. Yeah, £12,019.92 to be precise. Dominic proposes. All those in favour, please show. We approve the accounts for September 2014, including the overview accounts for publishing on the Parish Council's website. That one is it. Yeah, those two pages, 7 and 8, well 7 and the one after it. It's the Anston Bank reconciliation, September 2014. Receipts and payment receipts.
Yeah, can I ask a question on that one, please?
Which one, the receipts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says there, football arrears, £128. Is that all the football fees collected now?
Yes.
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 Yeah. That's from last year as well?
No, that's all last year's collected.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right, all those in favour, please, show. To discuss management accounts. That's that one, yeah.
What about this one? This one?
That one.
This is the previous page, you need to do that.
That one. Is that one? What's that in on it?
This one says payment schedule.
They were used to rule that.
Just doing the receipt, you didn't mention anything about the payments. I'd like to ask a question about the payments if I can.
Right.
The question on the payments is, under check number 200579, again it's the security, £450. Can you tell me what period that was for and how many visits it
Well,
was?
that says security for August, it says it there, on it.
Right. So, how come that is 450 for the month of August? Yet you just told me the security for September was only 360.
Probably runs a 5-week month. No idea.
You've no idea. They pay money and you've no idea.
Well, Stuart, the logic tells you it one's 4 weeks and one's 5 weeks. But it should have been asked anyway at the last meeting because they've already been paid, haven't they?
No problem.
Right.
I'll ask the question.
To discuss management accounts.
That's the issue, not really.
Right, yes, Stuart. Fine.
I missed the meeting in September. And it's the payment headings. Parish Hall. There's an item for, what's that? I'll bring that here. On this one.
Yeah.
Gas 2007 cleared, so I missed the September meeting. Can I just ask what that was for?
Where's it at?
It says
In the fielded letters, it says gas.
Parish Hall. It says replace install CCTV recorder 341, gas 207 cleared. I should know what that was for.
2073.
Yeah, 2017.
That's what we're on the budget.
No, but there's an item there that says gas 207.
Yeah.
So what we're budgeting for, that's
Oh, budget.
Can I just clarify that? You're saying that over the budget that we budgeted for gas last year, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So what, the next question, logical question is, what's changed? Because we haven't had an extremely cold winter this year. You're saying we've got an extra £2,000 on top of the gas bill, on top of, should we say, a normal gas bill. So something's got to change.
So the budget was 3,100.
no, there's no figure for it.
No, there isn't.
Well, what I'm saying is, if we budgeted X number of amounts for gas this year,
Yeah.
what this is saying is we've spent that money and we're now £2,000 over the original budget figure. And what I'm saying is, we haven't had a cold winter or anything like that. Why have we got such a big figure over and above what we budgeted for?
No, it won't. Can't tell you, Stuart.
I would say, could we have an next, well, it might if we'd like to find out why, as I say, I'm surprised.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it in the budget process.
Okay, it's just as I say,
No,
that's,
no,
like Councillor Dalton said, it's a
we
large
can't-
amount to get.
We can talk about it in the budget process, but what I'm saying is, we have a situation where we've gone £3,000 over our original budgeted figure for gas. There's got to be a reason for it. But we've got a gas leak. We haven't had a cold winter, so why have we spent so much extra gas? Is there something that's happened during the year that's made us spend more gas?
No ideas, but I couldn't tell you. We'll have to investigate it.
What's to investigate it?
I think it warrants investigation.
Yeah. We've obviously underestimated on the budget. We'll look it up, please. Right, can we... Anything else? else on the management accounts? Number 9, to discuss parish hall facilities. To receive an update from the facilities working group. Is that you, Clive?
It is, John, yeah. Unfortunately, not a great deal to update people on that after the presentation that we had. I've contacted CS and I'm waiting for a response from them because I want to organise another meeting before Christmas to decide when we're going to display the plans and proposals so users of the hall, staff and everybody else can make their comments and see if we're on the right line. So hopefully that's going to happen in December. But I spoke to the clerk earlier on, we need to arrange a meeting of the facilities working group probably in a couple of weeks' time, towards the end of November, and then we can organise a questionnaire to be put out for people to make the comments. So that's as far as I'm at the moment. Unfortunately, I've got no more to report than that.
Right, okay. Can we receive that report, please? Please show. To receive an update regarding Anston Preschool.
I asked the question because I thought we would do, maybe one that we need to consider putting in a confidential session. I don't know. I was hoping that somebody was going to give me some answers on where we stand with the preschool play group, because we did meet them. Well, it's really, it was an update on where they are, really. Probably, if we've not got anything today, then I think we need to ask them to come and meet us and tell us how things are progressing. Is there sort of like climate for their take-up progressing? You know, how they going? I know it's still operating.
I think there are.
But I think we need an update just to, because again we're at the budget consultation point of view, and I think we need some information from them as to where we are, so we can make some informed decisions for next year.
I'll ask the question. We had an agreement with the preschool sometime earlier this year over rent and repayment of debts.
Yeah.
So the question would be is, are they keeping to what they agreed, and have we repaid the sums that were asked of us?
I understand, yes, they are keeping exactly, but we've not had a report back as to how the progress of the number of kids, which we did actually, at the time gave us a promise that they'd report back within 6 months.
I would argue the numbers of children they have is possibly, I would say it will be possibly irrelevant, as long as the main thing we need to concentrate on is the finance. If they only have one child, but they're still giving us the correct finance, it's not a problem.
We've been paid up.
Chair, I seem to recall, but I won't swear to it, but I'm pretty certain we did give them a time limit, and I should imagine that time limit isn't quite there yet.
It was 6 months.
6 months, so it probably isn't quite 6 months. So I expect that it probably be helpful for the clerk to remind them that that's
There are one or two things that they have to give us undertaking. As to their plans, according to what their objectives were, i.e. to increase the amount of time that they were going to have, probably start an all-day school, and breakfast and after-school activities after hours. We haven't had a report back yet, which we shall get as soon.
6 months, yeah.
Can I just check if we could get that by the time we start the budget meetings, because I think it's important we have some sort of direction on where things are going, you know, so we can make some informed decisions. So if we can get something by middle of this month or...
That's my question. Another way
In terms of finances, we are honouring the commitment.
I just wanted to know if the business...
But it is important that we get the feedback, because we gave them our, trusted them, and went out of limb for them, didn't we? 3, to approve the 5-year hardwire testing. I'm not an electrician, I can't tell you anything about this at all.
We've got a quote in front of us, and it's less than what we paid 5 years ago.
Is this the quote?
This is from DCS Electrical. It's 520. Sorry.
Is this... sorry. Is this for a 5-year period? Every 5 years when it has to be retested. So this price, is that this year It's going to be done, or what I should have it done this year, and then 5 years hence. So we will give the price now, not for. Thank you. So it's actually less than we.
So can I just come in with a clarification? Right. So am I right in thinking this is what we all used to call pack testing? Right. So what's the hardwire testing?
It's the cables that are in the walls.
Right. So if we agree this sum, that figure that I've calculated, and it seems not going to say is that for a one-off this year testing, and we don't have to do anything for 5 years. Right. And the other thing I've got is we're being asked to agree this, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings on here. But only 2 of them refer to the charity.
It's the charity one you agreed on.
Right, because that comes to a different figure to what's on there.
They're only discussing the main parish hall.
Right, are we including everything, or just the main hall, nursery, offices, and the bowling pavilion?
That's it, yeah.
So the proposal is to accept the costings from this company for the main hall, nursery, for offices, and the bowling pavilion.
Yeah.
So I'm just clarifying because it's
okay.
Because if we'd have voted for that, we'd have voted for everything. We can't do it in the charity meeting.
Well, it's on the next meeting as well.
It's on the next agenda.
I didn't say it wasn't, but I'm just saying this is the problem when we start to mix charity and council business.
Yeah. Well, we strive not to mix it to it. Yeah, can we vote, please? All those in favour? Ground and building beautiful Leeds Way to receive an update on dogs on Leeds. You've got the copy of the notice that we've put up.
You see, John, I just questioned that word because I would have thought it was whilst on the recreation ground.
Probably should be whilst.
It's become accepted ground.
Yes, right, it is. As long as people understand what it means. That's it.
Chair,
Yeah, Julie.
I know that this has come
Put your
about.
mic on there, Julie. So quickly.
I know this has come about because of a letter that was written to us from a lady who had some dogs coming up to her, and she was, whilst she and her child were at the play equipment. But I'm also aware that there are a few people who bring their dogs here on a regular basis and are a little bit, you know, I think they feel that they're also, that they would like to let the dogs off the lead. So I just wonder if it's helpful to put something in about, in order to keep them away from the children on the recreation ground or something like that. I'm not sure of the wording exactly, but I think it's helpful when people understand the reasoning behind starting with the notices. So I just wondered whether we could add something in a little bit, you know, please keep dogs on the lead whilst on the recreation ground due to the children on the play area. Or something.
Well, yeah, I can see, take your point, Julie, but the thing is that the children run about all over the place. They don't just run on the recreation ground, they run all over. And any self-respecting dog owner should take care of the dog home.
No, I didn't mean about the dog. It's the dog on the lead bit that people are, you know, I think it would be easier for them to understand why we've asked for the dog to be on the lead. It's just a short explanation there.
Because I mean, we can't force them to it, it's only just a request that it's do it.
Yeah, you just hit on what I was going to speak about. It says here, we're discussing an email from the clerk, assistant clerk to us, to be honest. It says here, says, dog wardens will, if they have the time and finances allow it, visit the recreation ground and patrol it at some point to try and assist us with our efforts. The first question I bring up is, I'm of the belief that the recreation ground, being owned by the charity, is classed as private land. Therefore, I don't think that the dog wardens will have any legal authority to do anything to people with dogs that are not on leads. And Siobhan is going to say, she's been advised to contact Environmental Health, which are going to follow the dog cases, and the police to discuss measures we can take and legal implications. I think we need to be very, very, very clear as a charity on how we stand on this issue, because if we stop people from taking the dogs off the lead, and then when them dogs do something to a member of the public, be it adult or child, we need to be clear that we're covered. And like I say, it's private land. So before we make any, I have no objection to the sign that we're going to, but before we start making decisions of what we're going to do or not going to do, we need to actually take some legal advice on it.
Comments, please.
When the lady got the letter in originally, I think, I'm not sure she was referring to certain people that use the, but I know there are one or two people that use it for dog training on the welfare. They have several dogs running down all the time. It's going to be very difficult to ask people who are just walking their dog to keep theirs on the lead when they might see half a dozen dogs at the bottom end running up and down, which are not on the lead. So we're sort of in a bit of a conflict here, because we're trying to stop people from letting the dogs loose and running about and getting rid of people. I mean, the dogs will be under control, but it gives the wrong impression that we're sort of making, we're legislating for some people walking the dogs, and then we've got maybe half a dozen dogs running around the bottom part of the football pitch, which I don't think is a good idea anyway, especially if I was playing football now, I wouldn't want it after that, if you've got half a dozen dogs running down for a couple of hours. So I think we've got a bit of a conflict here. We need to decide, do we ban every, do we put that in apply to every dog, or you can't really give dispensation to somebody that's actually doing some dog training, whether it's...
And of course, if they're training the dogs, it means that the dogs aren't under control anyway.
Well, that's right,
They're being trained.
yeah, so...
Once the dog is trained, it's trained.
It's a bit of a conflict of...
Can we put this to bed fairly quickly? The sign, I think, is self-explanatory. The fact is that the vast majority of dog owners are infinitely better behaved with their dogs and what their dogs do than 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and so on. I think this is a very reasonable statement. It's a recreation ground, whether you're playing football or walking or on the swings. Put it up. Everything else is secondary.
See, dogs are creatures of habit. Once you find a place to do it, they'll do it in the same place.
John, with respect, when I've come down here for either meetings or to go to parish land, the majority of dogs I see are indeed on leads until they get beyond this and the cricket field.
Good.
Could we put on this notice, there's a footpath at the bottom end of the football field that leads to open ground?
Yeah, big notice. At this stage, can we...
Just speaking as a dog owner, I think this sounds fine. I think if we try and broaden it out, you get away from the point, makes it a bit complicated. I do think we do need to take advice about legal implications, because there was something about dog control orders. The Borough Council said at some point, it might be a couple of years ago, that they could operate dog control orders on other people's property if the landowners requested it. On Clive's point about the dog training, we've, as a parish council or charity, we've plenty of room to accommodate anyone that wants to do dog training without the need to do it on the recreation ground. I think dogs should be on the leads on recreation ground.
Well, can we have a proposal and a second to take this note, put this notice up?
The notice
The
is
first
already
step.
up. The notice is
So it's already up. Well, approve it then.
Can I go in? Can I ask that we bring this to the next charity meeting and have a discussion on, as Stephen's just said, could we possibly look at the idea of making the recreation ground an area where dogs have to go and read? Because if they're taking the dogs for a walk, as Gordon just said, they can go along the bottom path into the big open field. So it's a bit of a compromise, but I think we need to discuss it further. So if
Well, would you have to put that on the agenda for the next one?
Well, maybe the class making most of the clerk now to put it on.
If you agree.
Yes, we agree. Do we agree that that goes on the agenda for the next meeting? But at this stage, we approve the notices that are going up anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got to have our approval. Right. To receive the copy of the notice of sent to the football teams, discuss pitch hire.
That needs to be altered, doesn't it, to charity?
Sorry, I haven't found it yet.
Second word. Third word.
What letter is that one?
This about the...
That one.
It's on the back of the dog.
Back of the notes, on the back of the note. So it should be £100 with the parish charity.
That should say charity.
Yeah, that should say parish charity.
Yeah.
And that should say parish charity.
Chair.
Yes, but council should say charity.
Chair.
Yes, you.
Well, I think this must have been waiting on for a bit because it also says due to the lateness of the contract being issued this year, the parish council will accept the deposit up to the 12th of September. And we're in November now, so do we want to change that?
The next
This
place
isn't going out, this went out.
is gone.
It's
The
gone.
council was, or the charity was seeking clarification on the wording of what went out.
All right,
So this
okay.
is just what went out, so that you know what the wording was.
All right,
It's
so
just to receive the copy.
it's already gone.
Sorry, gone.
So we can.
Yes.
Right, so, I mean, I was going to bring up the same point, but the question is now, if it's gone out, what was the response? Have we had the deposits as we requested? And how was it received by the teams?
A deposit from one team, and the two teams haven't paid deposits.
And are the other two teams playing? Right. Can I just say, that this football thing, it's, and I've said before, it's not rocket science. The football teams hire the pitches, which I encourage to play football. But if they're not going to pay the fees, well, as a council, we should be starting to say, if you're not paying the fees, you can't play. It's an agreement between two parties. We had a problem last year, well, you tell me that tonight, we've only just had the final fees paid from last year. So as a council, we need to come to a decision on what we're going to do. We sent the letter out whenever it went out, there's no date on this, and we haven't received the deposit from two teams. What are we going to do to the two teams that have not paid? Are we going to allow them to play, or we're just going to forget it?
I should send them a reminder, I think.
Can I just...
Could we,
It's not fair on
Could
the
I-
team that's paid.
could I move that the clerk or the assistant clerk sends a reminder to two football teams concerned, please, and that we get a report back at a future meeting?
Can I just speak on it? I mean, I put this agreement together, July, I think, something like that, in July. And I'm a bit perplexed because I know it's been sent out, but I think we extended it to, because we knew we'd not had all three paid, we extended it to beginning of October. It's now gone another month since then, and we're going to get in a position where we're chasing fees again. And this is one thing that the auditor pointed out about, having to chase money all the time. And I think it's, we've got one local team who've paid, paid on time. We've got two who are still choosing to play, turning up on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon and a Sunday morning, and they're totally ignoring the letters that we sent to them. And I think it's not fair. I think we need to get this sorted out and get the money off them, because I don't want to be in a position when we get to next April and we still haven't got this £100 deposit. I mean, in effect, we're paying part of the pitch hire fees off in advance, so it's everybody's benefit at the end of the day. They haven't to find another £100 at the end of the season. They haven't got to look around £350, which you might well be doing if they don't pay. So I think we need to chase it up. And just a gentle reminder, I think, again, but that, if we keep doing that, it goes on and on and on.
Ian's already proposed.
I've already proposed that,
Yeah.
Chair.
Can we add to it?
What are the two things that took place, please?
I'm still using
Yeah, 35s.
it's the Anston, I'm not sure, Anston over 35 team playing the Raglands, and Anston Premier League, who've done remarkably well. We've got them 4 leagues in 4 years. And we've tried to accommodate them, but I just find it really disappointing that they're not paying the money. Well, the ladies play, I don't think they play very often. I think that's a sort of, they let Marion know as and when they play, or I hope they do.
Anston on who?
It's 35.
Yeah,
It's over 35, I think it's just Anston FC.
I've got a proposal that we remind them that they must pay up. But if you're going to remind them and say you must pay up, we must have put something in it that says, otherwise, ask them a certain date.
I agree. I'll accept that amendment.
It's in the higher agreement anyway.
Yeah. Ask them to adhere to the higher agreement, otherwise they can't play.
Could we not? I mean, yes, they should pay by all means, because it's not fair to the team that pays if the other two are not. Would it not be a better way to talk to people first, to ask, I don't know if the clerk would do it or not, get the clerk to sit down with possibly all 3 teams, some call them leaders, I don't know what, it's not necessarily the captain, but
Managers.
we'll get together with all 3 team leaders and just sit down and have a friendly chat and explain to them why we have to charge, why we need them for maintenance, etc. And maybe that might be a better way than threatening or something. Not
Well, it's not really threatening, it's an agreement, Stuart. I mean, they've played on it for many years, they know that it's got to be maintained. And if you come down to the recreation ground, I don't know if you see them cutting the grass and marking it down, and I think you've just got to say, pay up or don't play.
I mean, I don't want to get to that stage, but I think it's...
I move the vote, Chair. We go around in circles here.
Right. How are you going to accept that amendment?
Yes, I am.
Right. So would you withdraw it first?
Well, we write
Parameters that we're right.
the teams and there is a fixed date.
Stick to the rules, otherwise you'll vote like this. As proposed by Ian. Seconded by...
I don't know, is this a proposal or an amendment? What we're doing?
This is the original thing, is withdrawn this original thing. It's we know what we're going after with this. So all those in favour of writing the same...
Before we go, you clarify what we're voting on.
Yeah, you voted that we write to them and we say that you are not fulfilling your terms of your agreement. Please pay up by a certain date, or otherwise further steps will be taken.
Right.
You don't have to specify what steps they are, just going to say to take further steps. All those in favour? It's in the higher agreement anyway. Right. I don't know that next one. Part number 3, to discuss the flooding at the rear of 47 Wright Road. Which is that one?
Big flooding down the bottom.
Right, that's what. Anybody got any comments?
Well, who's put on the agenda? All right, it's still there.
Where else? It's only going right down the bottom.
You should go down the road, on the right-hand side where the grass in front of the back gardens.
Okay.
3/4 of the way down, there's a big tree, it's on this side of the tree.
behind the goalposts. Just a bit further down, it's a big boggy area.
Oh, right, okay, not towards the bridge, just actually.
Not inside the...
In seeing this item, is the flooding on our land or is it in number 47's rear garden?
No, it's on ours, it's just on the grass verge there.
Right. Could I suggest that we ask our drainage person to investigate and report back?
Can I suggest we ask one of the workers to go down, with no cost, to go down, have a look at it, possibly dig a small hole to see if it would drain away first.
If I just make a comment on this, Chair, we had a meeting the other week to discuss the drainage issues on here, and Councillor Thorne and myself walked along there, and I spoke to Councillor Stonebridge as well. It is really bad on that bit, but we were looking at the whole of that run, and as I suspect that it actually links into that area where it's flooding at the back, and we need to get the CCTV camera that we, and Councillor Season was there as well, that we agreed to try and set up, see how far it could get along and see whether there was tree roots that were blocking the drainage or what in actual fact we've got along that bit there. I think...
Only on the right-hand side.
No, but I suspect it may be, as a result of that not getting away there, it may be underneath and bit. I really don't know the way
Have
forward.
you sent anyone down there to have a look? Have you? No. So no one's been down there yet?
Well, we've looked at it as a big puddle.
You can't, you've got no ideas yourself.
It looks like a spring that's sprung.
Have we tried to drain it? Because if we've not tried to drain it, we've tried to drain it first, and if it comes back, it will indicate it's a spring.
Check, can we, I'll second Councillor St John's proposal. You know, we need to do some exploratory work on this one. It's one of our workers, but we feel it's a bigger task as part of the drainage down here. You know, just task the clerk to go away and sort it.
Well, yeah, see if our men can make head and tail of it, if they can't.
Yeah.
Right, proposal that we've got the drainage people.
I would suggest it's the contractor that we normally use, but
I'm happy with that. I think the thing is, if we ask our workforce to go down, they may come back and say there's a large puddle there, which is what we know already. Whereas if the council or charity says to the clerk, please get a drainage person to investigate it, that person, whoever it is, and that's, you know, I've got a problem with that, will report back that, you know, we may need to do some work. Fine.
We have a proposal and we've got a second. Anybody in the object, anybody want to put their hands up in favour of that?
Can I just ask? It's on this sign, isn't it? So it's not anywhere that anyone ever plays football or anything like that. Would it matter if it was a spring that it's done?
No, but we've got to have some remedial work to it. We can't have a spring.
the owner of the property is going to walk through and...
Yeah, well, if it's encroaching on the people.
Might be.
You don't have a right to work across there, so... Right, do they have the right to work with the vehicle? Right, well, I would suggest that one of the reasons why the water may be collecting is because there's probably the ground has been worn away with driving the vehicle across.
Well,
Unless there's concrete, to say slabs across it.
Yeah. Well, we'll find that out. It's investigated, won't we? All those in favour, we've already asked that. Yeah, that's right. To resolve to nothing. To discuss any item for which present will be approved, nothing. Number 12, date down the next meeting, Wednesday, 10th of December at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, folks, for your attention.
Would you sign those petitions protesting against building on the Greenbelt Plain? There's 3 separate sites. If you would like to, I'd be grateful. There's 3 separate sites. If you could just follow on what's already been named. There's 3 altogether. Have you got 2 tangled up? Colin's got 2, I think.
You can rely on everything.
And a new
I know the theory.
Shall we crack on with the finance meeting? Okay. Item 1, to allow representations regarding planning applications to be considered later in the meeting. So members of the public, if you've got anything that you would like to say about any of the planning applications that are going to be considered. Sorry, members of the public, that was your little chance as the Anthony.
Julie. Stuart's in there. Stuart's in there, should be in the balance meeting.
So I'm not going to sign that one as well.
Councillor Thornton, would you mind leaving the table, please?
No, I was elected by the people of Anston.
Oh,
Excuse me, if you're going to start making derogatory remarks against me, I'll ask you to take action against me.
Right, just hold on a minute. Councillor Thornton, if I please ask you to leave the table. You're not a member of this finance meeting.
Right, I'm not leaving the table, and the reason I'm not leaving the table is I was elected by the people of Anston to represent them on this parish council. After false allegations made by Councillor Beck, I was
I'm sorry, we've heard this before.
Right, and you need to hear it again because you're not listening to what I'm
I'm
saying.
sorry, you are not entitled to sit at this meeting. I'm asking you if you would leave the
Right,
table.
I've identified 31 items on this finance
Yeah,
meeting.
you've said this before as well.
No,
You're not
I
entitled
didn't say
to
31 before, so don't contradict me. And when I'm speaking, do not speak over me.
No, I am the chair of this meeting,
Right.
and I would ask you to leave the
Right, I'm not leaving the meeting because there are 31
I would
items
like
on.
you to leave the table, please,
I'm
Councillor.
not leaving this meeting because there's
Okay.
31
I'm going to
items.
suspend this meeting for 5 minutes whilst I have a discussion with Councillor Thornton.
You can have as many discussions as you want. I was elected by the people to represent you. Excuse me, Councillor Dawn. When you got Councillor St. John, get off the
The
table.
meeting is suspended.
You're
The
not
meeting is
to I
suspended
expect you
for 5
to do
minutes.
something.
The meeting is suspended for
I
5
haven't
minutes.
heard anything against
The
Councillor.
meeting is suspended. The meeting is suspended, Councillor Thornton.
You need to talk also.
Yes, and you do it frequently. Please.
I'm asking you now.
I'm sorry, but the meeting is suspended at this
Well,
point.
I'm quite aware because you've suspended. I'm asking now is, Councillor St. John just got off the table
Yeah,
and made a derogatory comment and a noise. Yet you're not going to do anything. And this is bad. And I was laughing because you're getting away with it.
It wouldn't happen in infant school.
And now another derogatory comment is made on the
The meeting is suspended. You are not a member of the committee. We have rules. This is the whole problem. They don't apply to you.
Don't punch me.
No,
You're on
they
camera.
don't apply to you. The meeting is suspended. That's why I have a problem. Regulations are there to be followed.
Right, so...
And you will not accept.
Labour Party regulations.
Does that make a scrap of difference if I'm speaking to you outside the meeting?
No, I'm not making to say to me, to say in public on camera. So if you want to speak to me, speak to me. If you're not going to control the own Labour councillors, you're not going to control them. See again,
We're not in a meeting, Councillor Thornton. The Labour councillors have got nothing to do with
you
it.
just made another derogatory remark, Chair.
Derogatory? Show, I'm at a loss.
You don't have to be. As long as you're not giving you pressure after the council, you come on, you've carry on making derogatory remarks at the council, because you've got nothing to do with it.
You up there, Martin, because of what you're on. If you want to substitute, you can.
Thank you.
Get down to bring somebody with you. Wife, girlfriend, somebody else's wife.
I've done quite a few on the street, but it's hard to get people who are in. I thought I'd have more look down here.
obviously. It comes on Wednesday.
My mind is just weeds and flowers that are in the wrong place.
Okay, members, 5 minutes have passed. Come back to the table. Members, could come back to the table, please. Thank you. I'm going to move straight to item 10. If the council agrees that I can do that, I'm going to move to item 10 to approve payments and sign cheques and approve grants for reward hire.
I'll move that.
Can I have a seconder? All those in favour?
And now we're engineering the meetings just to fit so
Thank you.
bills can be paid. This is the muddle that you get yourself into.
Thank you, Councillor
Thornton.
Right, this please. So we've got the cheques here. Take them by exception. Can we approve those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any against? Thank you. Approved grants rehaul hire. Grant hire. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the meeting, and I would like to now ask Councillor Thornton to lead the meeting.
There are 31 items of general parish council business on this meeting that I was elected by the members of Anston to represent them. By kicking me off this meeting, not only are you discriminating against me, you are preventing me representing the people who elected me. I will not leave the table.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I would like to now quote from the Public Meeting Act. Penalty on endeavour to break up public meeting. Any person who has a lawful public meeting acts in a disorderly manner for the purpose of preventing the transaction of the business for which the meeting was called together shall be guilty of an offence, and shall on summary conviction be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months or a fine not exceeding level 5 on the standard scale or both. Any person who incites others to commit an offence under this Act shall be guilty of like offence. So, this is the third time, Councillor Thornton.
Can I just ask you to read out what the law
I
is?
haven't finished speaking. This is the third time that you've prevented this finance meeting going ahead. I'll ask you one last time before I close the meeting. I would ask you...
Right. Can I ask you what the law is?
I would ask you to leave.
Right. Can I ask you what the law is? You just quoted.
Of the Public Meeting Act.
Right.
1908, chapter 66, 8.
So now the Labour councillor is now using the law to prevent me from representing those that elected me.
I would now say, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. The meeting is now...
This is what it boils down to. Is Labour councillors do not like being criticised. They are using the law.
You want to go to Labour? Have you closed the meeting, Chair? You want to go to Labour Party meetings? You won't get away with this.
You're still on camera and you're still...
Yes, I'm sure I'm on camera. It makes no difference. You, like everybody else, should obey the rules. And that's your main problem. You are not different, you're not special.
Oh, yeah.